Well, hi everybody. How you doing tonight? Well, this is Thanksgiving Eve, and I don't know what it is about Thanksgiving, but if you're not around a lot of people, it makes you lonely. So I hope anybody out there that's not around a lot of people and feeling kind of down, I hope they just take a couple of deep breaths and start counting all their blessings. Everything that start with being 6 foot above ground and just keep going on. Any healthy children, healthy grandchildren, the blessed lives that a lot of us have led, even if we didn't think they were too blessed at the time, working 2 jobs or whatever. But when we look back, we had it pretty good. At least I did. Never made much money, but I always got to be my own boss, and I guess for some people that's important. I never thought about it when I was young. It's just how it always seemed it was. But it was. I didn't always get to be my own boss. When I worked at the pharmacy and the beauty shop, I wasn't. But that was when I was real young. Or at least at the beauty shop. I was older at the pharmacy. That's when I decided I'd go back and take care of my own business. But we got some good news today, some great news. I know I felt relieved. I would have been, I thought this is going to make everybody's Thanksgiving happier, at least to know that some justice is being done. And then yesterday there was some justice done too, because they got those guys that did that deal in Charlottesville. They didn't get to put them in jail, but at least they got them to, they're going to owe people. I don't know how that works. I don't know how much of it they'll ever pay, but at least that judgment's against them. If they got any money that's showing, those people should be able to claim it. I'm not quite sure how that works. But there's just so many, we've been blessed for so many years here in the United States that we just don't know what to do now that things doesn't seem permanent or as firm as it did before. Even if we didn't like some of the things that were going on before, we knew, that our democracy was safe and we were relatively safe, that we didn't have any crazies in power that was going to start a war overnight. And then we went through 4 years of on high serotonin or whatever you call it, where you got to get up every morning and turn the TV on and make sure nobody's blowing the world up. And then just about the time we thought we could take a deep breath, the things were going to go back. Well, I knew things were going to go back to normal, but we thought that things were going to go back to a little lower profile, where we didn't have to worry all the time. Then all this bullshit about him not wanting to give up power. But I mean, that wasn't anything I wasn't saying was going to happen anyway, as far as him not giving up power. But it all seems so stupid. But everybody, and like I said, I haven't been watching it, but I turn them on in the background when I'm doing dishes and stuff. And all these different newscasters and stuff, whether you're watching the internet or straight corporate news, a lot of them come up with this why are the Republicans doing this? That's all they keep saying. Why are the Republicans doing this? Why are they saying that the election, because they're just trying to push this back till maybe they can take over the Senate and the House and then boot this out the door, because they're in this with him. And I think maybe that's one thing I'm going to read on. But first of all, you never watch my channel and I just come on and start going on and on. You got to good camera or something, then you can. I'm using some Effudex on some spots on my face. That's why I got this sore on my nose. It's nobody's beating me up. It's just skin cancers that I'm trying to burn off, so I don't have to go to the doctor and have them burn off. Anyway, so I think when they raided Deripaska's residences, the ones that, yeah, he's not here. I don't know. He's hiding somewhere in Russia, as far as I know. They've been trying to figure out how to, they've been looking for him for 2 or 3 years. But I think he felt so secure with Trump in power, and already felt so secure with the rest of the autocrats around the world, that Trump was going to stay in power, that he just left a lot of stuff in these homes he had rented and stuff that shouldn't have been left here. And I think there's going to be some stuff coming out about Moscow Mitch in there, because he gotten nicer. Not really nicer, but he's not quite as belligerent. And it just happened after that raid. So is that something to do with what he thinks they might have in there? And if so, if they got paperwork on there on him and his aluminum plant and all that kind of stuff. I guess there was 2 aluminum plants that were supposed to be built in Kentucky. And I think he was working with Deripaska or working with some of the Russians on that. Maybe there's more in there about a lot of these senators that took money from Russia. About that little group that went over there on the 4th of July, right after Trump won election. And some of them, I think a couple of them were Democrats, and I think there might have been, I know there was one woman in there with them. I think there might have been 2 women in there. So I think that's why they're going along with the big lie, because they figure as long as they can carry it, and maybe carry it and push it till after the midterms, then they can maybe disrupt this January 6th deal and get rid of some of the investigations going on them. But you know what? Even if they get rid of the January 6th stuff, Biden still got another 3 years. And I think there was information. I think they've already uncovered information they didn't think they were going to uncover. So that's what I'm going to read on tonight. And then I'm going to read on December. But we're going to do this so it don't take hours and hours, I hope. Anyway, I love y'all, and I want to thank you for watching. And if I've got all my readings caught up, so I'm empty. So if anybody wants a tarot reading, it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. And I got a new computer. I'm not using it now because the sweetest guy in the world, my great nephew, is he may not want to be called that, but he's my nephew's nephew, so I always think of him as part of the family. But he's switching everything over, and it's actually a new iPad, but it's a really nice one with a nice camera on both sides, so I don't have to turn my iPad backwards when I'm making a video. And I think it should have better sound on it. In fact, I think he got me a mic you could turn up and down that goes to it. And I'll really be happy to start using it. And also, he's helping me get some other stuff done because I'm so electronically head up my butt. I guess I was trying to think of a good word for it. But anyway, because I'm not very well at that. But he set me up with a Venmo, and I don't even know how to use it. But I guess all I have to do is tell people my phone number if they want to put money in there instead of in my PayPal. So that's nice. And so things could be looking up. I know I was pretty upset about spending money, but I dropped my iPad and cracked it, and I don't know how long it's going to be together, and it's the only connection I have with you guys out there, and I feel like I needed a backup, and I also knew I needed an update. So thank you for being so kind to me, and thank you for all the readings, or I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to buy one if it wasn't for all the readings I've been doing. So if anybody wants a reading, it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. And we're going to get this thing started. And it's going to start on Moscow Mitch McConnell, whatever you want to call him. But for this reading, I'm going to use the word Moscow Mitch, because let's see if they uncovered paperwork showing, how do I ask this? Did they uncover records? Nothing's paperwork anymore. I thought something sounds weird there. Did they find records in that stuff they got from Deripaska where Mitch was making deals with the Russians? Where Moscow Mitch was making, and this is YouTube only. It's for fun and entertainment. It's all for fun and entertainment. But was he making deals with the Russians? Well, we got justice for the signifier. So, could be. Definitely could be. I'm going to change this light just a little bit. It's shining right in my eyes, but it doesn't seem to be shining on the cards. Maybe if I put it like that, it'll light the cards up. So, definitely a weird card for the signifier, for him. So justice is coming for him, and if justice is coming for him, that's almost a yes right off the bat, I'd say. That's a yes, not yes, but hell yes. So I was going to go ahead and draw some more cards on this, but I'm not. All I needed is two. I got justice, and I got the Ten of Swords in the back. The question was, did they find information when they raided Deripaska's house that involved Mitch McConnell and the Russians? And the cards are saying yes. Remember, this is YouTube only. So, okay, how about those other, I think there was 11, 12, I don't think there was more than 12, senators, congressmen, what else, whatever, that most of them were Republicans. I think there was a few Democrats in there. I think there was 2 or something out of the bunch that went to Moscow and went to probably Moscow. Anyway, they went to Russia and had all those meetings with Putin and stuff, spent the night over there and got wined and dined and stuff right after Trump got in. Was there also information about them taking money? Because they're not all batshit crazy, and they all knew they could have dumped him down the drain as soon as they did that second impeachment. All they had to do was vote to impeach him, about 5 or 6 more of them. But they liked the idea of him being in there, thinking maybe he could pardon them if he got back in. If they could push this off, take back control of the Senate, push, be the assholes they are, and get all these different states and voting laws like they're doing, and get Trump back in there, which would not be a legal win. We know that, but it would be for him. So I can't believe this light. It seems like it's just a little bit too much or something in my eyes. So anyway, is that what's going on? So I'm just going to do this again and maybe only have to draw 2 cards. Is the reason they're all running around with their head in the sand and not even admitting that Biden won the election and just being total shitheads, is it because they're so deep in this that some of them could maybe even go to jail? Should have kept drawing on that last one. I bet I would have ended up showing Mitch in jail. Should have did a whole reading on him. But let's go back, and this is on the congressman. We already got the energy on the cards. They were definitely made an offer. Made an offer. Aha. And we got the 6. of Cups made a lot of offers. A bunch of them were made offers. Not just one. A bunch of them were made offers. And now Judgment's on their ass. Judgment's coming after them. There was deals struck and deals made. And I'm sure money paid. Let's see what comes up next. Contracts. They're afraid this is what's going to happen. This is the near future. And I like this coming up here because that was going to be my next question. Are they going to get in trouble for it? Looky there. Yeah, they're already in trouble for it. They got goods on them too. What's upsetting everybody is the delay. But that's almost upsetting the people that are involved in this as much as it is us, because they're wondering how much they got on them. And for some reason, there's no leaks on this. Nobody's letting anybody know, so they don't know what they've got on them. They're not sleeping good at night. They may be going around acting macho and like the Republicans always do and stuff, but they're not sleeping. Like I said, because they're all worried they're going to jail. So that's pretty simple. I asked if they got offers and payoffs when they went over there. There's the offer. There's still a bunch of them taking it. The Judgment's coming after them now because there was contracts made with the big cheese. It's not going to be very long till we find out about this, because this is the near future. All the swords in the bat. It's like we're going to hear something, then we're not going to hear something for just a little while, because they want to keep all this information hid. But at the current time, these guys are laying awake nights because they're terrified that they're going to end up in jail. So that's what's going on with them. And I'm sure if they end up in jail, so will Mitch. I should have went ahead and pulled more cards when I had them before, but I just answered the first question. I should have went ahead and followed him through. But now I didn't want to take that long, some of that stuff. Anyway, let's go into December. I know everybody feels, we all feel like we're walking on razor blades or thin ice or something. It's like everybody's just waiting for somebody to lower the boom, and I don't know if this is from being in shock and being so worried so long. Sorry about that. My daughter just sent me a message. So where was I at for December? What's going on in December? What's coming up in December? Show us where we are in December. Show us where the United States is in December, because there might be some other stuff going on somewhere. I know this sounds silly, but one of the main reasons I didn't want to go on that cruise in January, because I felt like something was coming. Like, I don't know. My guides are saying tidal waves. I've never been afraid of the ocean or anything, and I've been a sailor in most of my past lives, and many of my past lives. I've always loved the ocean. I've always loved the Caribbean. So it's not like I'm afraid to go on a ship because I think something's going to happen, but I just have this gloom and doom over something to do with uncontrollable circumstances. They're not even because I'm not getting around that good and other worries I've got about traveling at my age. It's just uncontrolled circumstances, something to do with maybe weather or something like that. I don't know, but I've just had this And I think the whole world has. I've talked to more people. What's going on? What's coming up in January? But let's just say for the United States. Let's start it out in just the United States. So that doesn't have anything to do with some of the feelings I was having, because I'm not even going to be in the United States at least the first week of a couple of weeks. So what's going on in the United States? What's coming out for the United States in January? For us in January on a whole. Be nice to have love and peace, and we're all getting along better. That was something else I wanted to talk about really, really quick. I have pissed more people off in my family by saying something like 2 words and trying to stay as far away from politics as possible, but just one little phrase or something that Fox News might use or something, and they come at you if they're on the right side or whatever. Can't call it the right side, but if they're, if they're Trump followers and stuff, they're so angry. You can even apologize, not, saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. And they're already saying, if you're on the phone or something, I gotta hang up. I've had this happen with 2 different people in my family. And I'd say, something like, well, I love you. I would never do anything purposely to hurt you, but everybody is entitled to their own feelings, and let's just talk about something else. And they're so angry immediately. And so why is it that they're so angry? Is it all the scare tactics? Is it all it's like they're just full of hate and discontent. It's like there's no years ago when I first got into metaphysics and got further away from religion and more into spiritualism, one of my greatest mentors said, when people are so afraid to read anything spiritual than the Bible even, it's because they're terrified that maybe they're not right. Otherwise, they'd want to go study everything. And that's kind of the same way with the right wing, because they keep going on about that race theory and all that kind of stuff that they're not even teaching. But wouldn't they want to go out and learn what it is, so they could look at it and view it with a, and it is a theory, and they don't teach it in well, we've gone through this before. They only teach it in college courses, and then usually if it's something, if you're studying law or something. But if we're still protecting our kids by the time they're in their 3rd year of college, I think we need to go back and rethink how we're raising them. I raised 3 kids, and my 2 oldest daughters could have definitely taken care of the house and paid the bills if they'd have had to, if something would have happened to me for a couple of months. They would have kept things going. They'd have figured out a way to do it. And that's when they were in their teens, so probably younger than that. They were just smart people. So and of course I have a son that's very smart too. He just whatever, younger. So and he's also a male. So don't beat me up out there if you're a male. I'm not picking on you. My favorite people were males most of my life. So anyway, let's see what's going on what's coming up for December. What's coming up? See if things are going to get exposed more. You know what? I'm going to even use a different deck of cards. In fact, I shuffled this cards to do these with, and these I'm not familiar with at all, so it'd be really interesting. It'd be more interesting than reading those. And I'll use those for clarifiers if I don't understand these. So what's coming up? And I don't have to shuffle these too much, because I shuffled them and shuffled them and shuffled them asking this question before I started. I'll tell you what. I think I'm getting to be I had a girlfriend that used to always call herself a dingbat, and I would just say, don't say that, but I'm about ready to start doing that. Shouldn't do anything late at night anymore, because that's another thing I want to ask, because I've had 2 other people tell me this besides me. Ever since the time change, I've been getting up at 7:37 when I wake up almost every morning. If it's not right on 7:37, it's 7:38 or 9 or 6. It's just and I'm getting up and getting out of bed and then meditating for an hour. I've had so much it's like I had a different set of guides come in. It's like I had a different set of helpers come in to get me up and get me going. And I think a lot of that's to exercise and walk twice a day and some of the stuff I've been trying to do. In fact, I walked up, there are only 6 of them, but I walked up and down 6 stairs 2 or 3 times, which sounds like a decrepit old lady, but my knees have been so bad for the last 15 years. It's probably been 20 years since I walked up any stairs that I didn't have to go sideways, and I went straight up them and straight down them. Anyway, I was really glad. I didn't just run up and them down them because I'm older. I held on to the rails, but anyway, it was really nice to be able to just do it. So let's see what's going on. What's going on the next month? So the signifier. Strong leadership. I think Biden's numbers are coming back up. We got the King of Wands here with the Lion of Strength behind him. I like these, are pretty cards. And I've got the Page of Cups here. We're still not going to get all the information, but we're going to get enough information to almost hang some people. Look at that. Look at that. I wonder if that's Bannon. I don't know. Let's see. The foundation is the Ten of Cups upside down. So I really feel like before the end of the year, just from these 3 cards, that we are going to see something really exposed. Maybe not totally because of this card here, but we're going to see something really exposed about the Republican Party that's going to just flip them over. And they're going to start down the mountain. They're going down it, not up it. Because there's information coming in from overseas. Maybe it's something to do with that first part of the reading I did. Because there's information coming in from overseas. And they're going to try to juggle the hell out of it, but this is upside down. They're not going to be able to juggle it. It's going to be too precise for them to play too many games with it. I feel like maybe the Democrats are going to come out of hiding and maybe do a little bit more, be a little bit more pushy, a little bit more progressive, a little bit more. Gotta be nice if they started after that voting rights still, but I'll believe that when I see it. But it does look like this does something to make them feel more powerful and to make them see the light. But the Democrats do need to be careful in December. Physically careful. We got the Knight of Swords here. That's the energy around this purity coming through. I'm not saying, this sounds so silly, I'm not saying the Democrats are pure, but there's some pure energy, uplifting energy coming through. And that's really going to piss some of the people on the right off, as it looks like the left is finally coming into their self. And I think, like I said, Biden's numbers are going to start coming up. Well, we know the whole world's watching. They're trying, some with that word from Germany, Schadenfreude or whatever, I never could say that right, but some just because they'd like to see us trip over ourselves. But I also think that's information being offered from the world. I think there's going to be information coming in from overseas. But let's see. Oh, yeah. So it shows the wheel turning. The wheel of fortune turning and changing. Well, is it going to get better? Let me draw a clarifier out of here. So there is going to be, I feel like it's action coming forward. Some kind of action. I don't even have to draw the card. It fell out right on top of it, right on top of the wheel. So we got justice coming forward. So we are going to see and hear about justice coming forward in December. We're going to have Biden's poll numbers going up. Stuff exposed so bad that they feel like they have to cover part of it up, that they can't even expose it all, what they found out. It's going to flip the Republican Party upside down. And some of them are even going to leave, hoping that that's all they have to do is just get out of office. And I asked this for December, not for next year. This may be picking up energy from next year, but that's a lot to expect from December. We're going to be hearing stuff from people overseas, collecting records. They're going to try to spin it, but it's not going to work. The card's upside down. It's going to bring into light and elevate some of the women in the Democratic Party. And I truly don't know, by looking at this card, if that's some of the ones in charge or some of the ones on the squad. But there's somebody in danger. They can say all they want to about everything that happened during that insurrection, but I still think there's a couple of women from the House that might really need to beef up their security in December. Something that gets noticed from around the world, but the Wheel of Fortune definitely is moving. Total new beginnings and judgment coming through. So we know they're not going to find something out and start a trial or anything like that quick. So I don't know. I think it's just more stuff coming out from these investigations that's just mind-blowing, although almost every day they're mind-blowing, but it's going to be more exact, more I don't know. No matter what it is, we know that nobody on the right's going to believe anything that does come out. But it looks like there's all kinds of information coming out. They need to really beef up security around the women in the house. the they're still trying to bamboozle us. As soon as, it gets really bad, they'll start throwing out a bunch of other shit. Looky over here. Look, I guess maybe find another Sesame Street or something. Information coming in from overseas. A lot of them leaving deciding they're not going to run anymore, or leaving their stuff. It's like the Republican Party's just going to get flipped on their heads. And these are weird cards. Like I said, these are different cards than I usually read. But I still think that's what's going to happen. So, anyway, I don't want to go on any longer. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. By the time I get this up, or you watch this, I'm sure to be after Thanksgiving, because tomorrow's Thanksgiving and it's getting late tonight. I want to thank you for watching the channel, and just thanks for watching. Night now.